Ladies and gentlemen, this is the UAP Harmony Prayer, the Philippine National Anthem, the UAP March, and the Architect's Credo. We enjoin everyone to sing and recite, in unison.
O Lord, we cry for peace. Purify our eyes to see peace. Purify our minds to understand peace.
Linisin niyo ang aming puso upang mahalin ang kapayapaan. Linisin niyo ang aming diwa upang maabot ang kapayapaan.
Ang kapayapaang nagmumula sa iyong pagmamahal at pag-unawa.
O Ginoo, palig-una ang among pananaw sa kalinaw. Giniyahan sa imong inspirasyon. Bisan og aduna kay daghang pamaagi sa pagpadayeg sa imong presensya, ang estilo nimo kanunay. Kay ikaw mipadayon sa imong pakigsulti kanamong tanan. Kanunay kang nagatiman kanamong tanan.
Iden nakam o ako, apagilasinan ti kapyam, nagbibiyag akan kanayon, ang makipatpatang ken ka.
Sa pag-entiende sang imo pagkahipos kag presensya, sa paagi sang istoryahanay sa amon nga kaugalingon para matukiban namon ang buot silingon sang kabuhi.
Ing pakipagtalamitam karing aliwa, ban misulong king masampat aparalan ding sabla.
Tawi kami sa muyang kagurangnan, nin kusog, tanganing mabuhay sa pag-urolay, sa tahaw nin pagkabaranga asindai pagkakasirinabot.
And to build peace with all people of sincere hearts who believe in love and compassion. Amen.
I shall work with this general objective that I am accountable to God, to Mother Earth, to my country, to my fellow men, and to myself. I shall uphold the ideals and follow the norms and ethical conduct of this noble profession. I shall pursue moral and professional excellence to the utmost level of integrity, through industrious dedication and meaningful application to my work, that merits a reputation for quality of services, worthy of fair remuneration. I shall pledge myself to the highest standard of professionalism in relation to clients, colleagues, industry partners, and society. I shall dedicate myself to the pursuit of creative endeavor towards the goal of enlightened art and science, generously sharing it. I shall respect the rights and works of my colleagues in the profession and confine my comments to constructive intents. I shall endeavor to do my duty in the protection of our common environment and the preservation of architectural heritage for the sake of the present and future generations. So help me God.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear architects. I would like to welcome you all to our 43rd induction of new members and officers today, July 24, 2020. I am very pleased to be your MC and your host for this evening. My name is Jam, your outgoing chapter secretary of the fiscal year 2019 and 2020. Um, may we ask all of you to please start sharing your videos for those who are not sharing their videos here. And for the start of our program, may we ask the welcome remarks from our chapter vice president of operations, Architect Jefferson S. Ventura.
Thank you, Jam. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Sir Architect Jeff.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Architect Jefferson Ventura, and on behalf of the chapter's board of directors, I welcome you all to the 43rd UAP Baguio Chapter induction of officers and new members. We are all affected by this pandemic. This is unprecedented situation, and for the first time, we will be conducting our chapter's annual induction through video conferencing. I know it is a far cry from our previous inductions, where we enjoy the physical presence of our friends and colleagues, socializing and engaging ourselves with one another. Nonetheless, I am pleased to see familiar names from our participants list. I know many of us here made a huge effort to attend this important event, and we are very grateful for all of you. Our chapter is also deeply honored to welcome our guests from the National Board of Directors headed by our President, Architect Renato Heray, our National Executive Vice President, Armando Eugene de Guzman III, Area A Vice President, Architect Alfred Geoffrey Karangdang, District Director for Area A, Architect Mark Anthony Artates, to our respected members from the College of Fellows, emeritus members, charter members, and past presidents. On my list, we have Architect Rafael Chan, sir. We have Architect Miguel Calusa, Architect Josie Chan together with Sir Rafi, Architect Dulte Munar, Architect Sheila Soriano, Architect Roberto Banyares, Architect Norbert Jan Ugay. We also have Architect Mario Calog, Architect Melissa Ann Patano, Architect Hermina Arellano, and Architect Arven Lacamen. We also have here our immediate past president, Architect Shirley Domoco, and of course to the new officers. May I also extend our warmest welcome to our inductees tonight, our new members. May this event be memorable and meaningful. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to our 43rd Induction of Officers and New Members. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Jefferson, our Chapter Vice President of Operations for this fiscal year 2020-2021. Thank you. That is a very wonderful remarks. As we move on to our opening remarks, may we ask our Chapter Vice President of Programs and Development, our dear Architect Jonard Don Hardinil, for his opening remarks. Architect Jonard?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Okay. So to our distinguished guests, officers, and members of the United Architects of the Philippines, let me greet you a cold but heartily warm evening. Tonight is a one-of-a-kind congratulatory event for us as one organization, as we take a leap in moving forward amidst global challenges. In previous years, we do our social gatherings staged in event venues, sashaying confidently in our best attires as we present ourselves as dignified professionals. We converge to strengthen our network and camaraderie as one vital pack in the industry. Tonight is much different than before. Since the start of the year, our movement became limited due to the virus, as we are handcuffed and jailed, disadvantaged from freedom to work and serve in the industry we have chosen. But we have chosen not to stop. Time and technology are in our hands for us to use. And now we face each other, seeing one another through our computer screens, or maybe tabs or mobile phones. We experience a challenge in many ways, but we also see it as a burning hay, a signal that in the signs of times, we can adjust and we can change. And with change, we are then gifted by the opportunity to do better. I heard this statement from an event a decade ago. When technology is at its peak, there's more to come. That's the same with the situation around the globe. And that's the same as well in our circle as architects in the industry, as leaders in the community. There is more to come. Tonight, we welcome our new set of officers who will lead this organization towards achieving our goals, our vision. We started last year or two when we have changed the landscape of leadership of this organization, where millennials assert and pursue innovations and widen up openness to change. This new breed of leadership buds a continuous promise of development, yet a development which respectfully seeks guidance and mentoring by the elders of this circle. Tonight, we also formally welcome our new members who optimistically join us in building our nation. Through this profession, them and us being professionals in this professional organization through our professional products. We welcome them not just an addition to the roster of architects of this chapter, but as messengers and workers of architecture. Once again, welcome everyone to our United Architects of the Philippines, Baguio City Chapter, Officers Induction and Members Oath-Taking Ceremonies. Good evening.
Thank you once again to our Chapter Vice President of Programs and Development, Architect Jonard Don Hardinil. That is a very warm remarks. And let's now move on to our introduction of guests. May we ask our incoming Chapter Secretary, Architect Ariel D. Sualag. Architect Ariel.
Thank you, Jam.
Thank you.
Let us acknowledge our guests for this evening. May we acknowledge the presence of our National President, Architect Renato A. Heray, our National Executive Vice President, Architect Armando Eugene, our Our Area Vice President, Architect Alfred Joffrey, C. Karangdang, our District A1A Director, Architect Mark Anthony C. Artates, our past Presidents and Emeritus, Architect Shirley Damoco, Architect Arven Lacamen, Architect Roberto Banyares, Architect Miguel Caluza, Architect Jeromina Arellano, Architect Melissa Ann Patano, Architect Maria Criselda Soriano, Architect Dulce Monar, Architect Norbert John Ugay, Architect Rafael Chan, Architect Josephine Chan, and to our members present for this evening and to our chapter officers present, good evening to everyone.
Thank you, our chapter secretary, for the introduction of our guest, our distinguished guest, our national officers, our past presidents, our emeritus, and the incoming officers. Okay, as we move on to the part 3 of our program, which is the induction rites. May I ask for the presentation of chapter officers, Architect Armando Eugene C. de Guzman, our National Executive Vice President.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I know it's a cold evening there, and hope all is well with all of you. Okay, let me call the incoming chapter officers, starting with, of course, the immediate chapter president. Okay, yan. Starting, of course, with the immediate chapter president, immediate past chapter president. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Architect Shirley B. Damoco. And for the directorship, we have Andrew Paula Sho Ang. Another director, Architect Raymond O. Omanito. Next one is Architect Julius Irvin L. Macaso. Another director, Architect Elijah Joseph Guzman. And last director is Architect Caril Bern Buenaluz. For the chapter auditor, here's Architect Oriel R. Paloran. Chapter treasurer, Architect Neil A. Kayanan. Chapter secretary, Architect Ariel D. Suwalog. The Vice President for Operations, Architect Jefferson S. Ventura. And the Vice President for Programs, Architect Jonard Don Hardenil. Last but not least, of course, the Chapter President, Architect Marisa Dale Direge. Okay. Mr. Area Vice President, they are now ready for charging.
Thank you, NEVP. Don, may kumpadre.
Hello po. Good evening, sir.
Hi. So, loud and clear naman tayo, no?
My
Good evening,
co-officers.
everyone. So, I really enjoy going to Baguio, no? Sayang nga lang hindi tayo magkita dyan personally, face-to-face. And I hope soon, given a chance, I want to go back again to Baguio. Congratulations to the officers na nabanggit ni Architect Don. And I have a lot of friends in your elders, binabanggit kanina, no? Si Rafi, Chan, no? Kasama namin sa ASEAN. And officers, this is your charge. The office to which you have been elected is one of dignity and importance. In accepting this office, you undertake a responsibility which is not to be assumed lightly nor carelessly discharged. You are charged with the duties of seriously and resolutely furthering the objectives of the United Architects of the Philippines, the integrated and accredited professional organization of architects. With the Constitution and bylaws and policy manual as your guide, you must be ever ready to exercise the functions of the office with which you're all entrusted. Furthermore, you are charged with governing this organization and your respective chapter according to the laws of democracy, under which laws every individual who wishes to speak shall be heard, towards the end that in every matter considered, the best of opinion shall prevail through the express will of the majority, and the best course of action follow. To the question that I will ask you, you have a thumbs up sign there. No? Hindi naman kailangan lahat mag-unmute, no? So you can have a thumbs up if you are accepting. The question is, do you accept this charge?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yun. All right. Dalawa yata sumagot. Iba, nag-thumbs up na ba?
Nag-thumbs up na lang po.
Thumbs up iba, okay. Now you're ready to take your oath of office. Mr. National President, Architect Rene Heray, they are now ready to be inducted as chapter officers of Baguio Chapter.
Thank you, Architect Alfred Candang, our area Vice President. So this is the oath of office for UAP Baguio City Chapter officers. So officers, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Carissa Day, consecutive
Having been elected to the position of state your position and your chapter.
Having been elected to the position of the chapter president of UAP Baguio City Chapter.
Of the United Architects of the Philippines.
Of the
United Architects of the Philippines.
Do hereby solemnly swear.
Do hereby solemnly swear.
That I will well. And faithfully discharge.
And faithfully discharge.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
The duties and responsibilities.
The duties and the responsibilities.
Of my present position.
Of my present position.
And all others.
And all others.
That I may hereafter hold.
That I may hereafter hold.
In the United Architects of the Philippines.
The United Architects of the Philippines.
That I will uphold and protect.
That I will uphold and protect.
The Constitution and bylaws.
The Constitution and bylaws.
Of the organization.
Of the organization.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I will obey and uphold.
That I will obey and uphold.
The Architects Code of Ethics.
The
Architects Code of Ethics.
Conducting myself. In a manner befitting. A good and true professional.
Professional.
Advancing the interest of the profession.
Advancing the interest of the profession.
To which we are dedicated. That I will obey the laws and legal orders. Promulgated by the duly constituted. Authorities of the Philippines. And I hereby declare. that I impose this obligation
that I impose this obligation
upon myself
upon myself
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, our National President, Architect Renato A. Heray, for the induction of our chapter officers. Now, may we ask our chapter immediate President, Architect Shirley B. Domaco, for her valedictory address. Architect Shirley?
Shirley,
Hello?
sounds, yeah, that's
okay na po.
Okay, thank you, Architect Jam. So to our distinguished guests, our President, Architect Nato A. Hiray, our National Executive Vice President, Architect Armando Eugene C. de Guzman III, our Area A Vice President, Architect Alfredo Jeffrey C. Carandang, District A1A Director, Architect Mark Anthony Artates, our guest of honor, Architect Donna Artabangin, A1A chapter presidents who are around, our fellow past presidents, Architect Rafael Chan, Architect Josephine Chan, Architect Roberto Banyares, Architect Miguel Caluza, Architect Jeromina Arellano, Architect Melissa Ann Patano, Architect Maria Criselda Soriano, Architect Volte Carlo Monar, Architect Norbert John Ukay, Architect Arvin Lacamen, fellow architects, colleagues, friends, good afternoon. Welcome to the very first virtual induction in the entire history of the United Architects of the Philippines Baguio City Chapter. I am genuinely honored to be a part of this historical event as we safely celebrate our 43rd induction and oath-taking ceremonies in our respective homes due to this dreadful pandemic that we are currently battling with. Today marks an end to a year of sacrifice, dedication, and servant leadership, a year filled with social interaction, social events, and social activities, now finally ends with social distancing. Indeed, it was a difficult yet fulfilling experience, having been elected as the chapter president of the United Architects of the Philippines Baguio City Chapter for the fiscal year 2019-2020. Has molded me in a way that I would have not imagined. I had been an officer of our chapter for about 5 years now. I humbly began as a director, worked my way up to serving as the chapter secretary, after which I had also gone through serving as the chapter vice president for operations and vice president for programs and development before finally being elected as the chapter president. Not all of us are born leaders. Thus, being given the chance to serve my chapter and lead my members was an honorable opportunity for me to be able to display leadership that I was not able to practice prior to becoming an active officer for 5 years. I may have doubted my capabilities just as much as probably most people would have doubted it. Maybe mostly due to the fact that I do not come off as confident, loud, or verbally expressive. But it was because of all these doubts and my own that had motivated me to push myself and prove to everyone who did believe that I was deserving or capable of leading my chapter. That I, well, in fact, am capable of displaying good governance and effective leadership. So during my term, I had wanted to focus on the chapter. I had made that clear during my planning sessions I've had with my board of directors. I do not have impressive accomplishments like most chapter presidents from other chapters to confidently brag about, nor have I been able to bag an award for best chapter as the previous administration under our past president, Architect Arben Lacamen, who had diligently dedicated his time and efforts into making it happen. My speech, therefore, will not contain a list of all the activities or accomplishments I've done during my term, as I know it may bore you all. A year may not suffice in successfully making a huge and memorable impact, but I believe it was enough to start something for the next administrations to use as baseline. I believe that before we dive into the bigger or more complex obstacles, we must first focus on the smaller, simpler, minute details, which will create a sturdier foundation for successfully being able to solve bigger problems in the future. I may have not left a mark big enough to be remembered, but I did what I could to serve my chapter to the best of my abilities and make evident changes that I hope will be appreciated, maybe not as of the moment, but hopefully in the future. And for these changes to be maintained and better yet, improved by my successors from this point forward. Unfortunately, my term had to end at an earlier note due to the spike of the COVID-19 cases in the beginning of March this year. My board and I had planned out a couple more activities up until June of this year. It was just unfortunate that we all had to adjust to the conditions that we had no control of. And at that time, the virus was new and we were under lockdown. And I did not want to put anyone in the position of risking their safety as well as the people they live with. And it is just a really excruciating experience that we all had to figure out. And thus, at that time, all that mattered was focusing on the safety of my officers and our families. This pandemic has definitely put a toll on me, and I do wish that I could have done more on my end. Most of our plans and our activities were directed towards the latter months of my term, but as mentioned, due to the circumstances that we are facing, things had not gone according to plan, and I do apologize for not being able to act more and reach out to all of you, our members, during these trying times. For now, instead, I will be extending my service to the chapter as the immediate past president, guiding and supporting our newly elected set of officers. I encourage my fellow members to accept the experience of servant leadership. I know not all of us have the time to sacrifice for our organization, but if we look at it as an opportunity for us to grow in character, in experience, in professionalism, that then we will appreciate what it truly is beyond our fear of giving more than what we think we are willing to offer. If only we see these kinds of experiences as an opportunity to show people that we can meet or probably surpass their expectations of us, then this could be something we would all want to go through in order for us to grow as a professional or merely even just as an individual at that. Being an officer tests your integrity as an individual. You learn to become more empathetic towards your members. You focus on the needs of the chapter above your own. You build both skills and values that develop through the experience of servant leadership. We should take it upon ourselves to accept challenges such as serving our professional organization. Never allow yourself to be the person who has had lived through regrets. Regrets of not taking chances, regrets of not pushing yourself past your limits, regrets of not being able to do more for others because of the doubt you place upon yourself. always take chances, always push past your limitations, always do more, not for your personal gain or satisfaction, but for the benefit of the whole, the majority. I would like to thank Architect Rafael Chan, one of our notable, respected emeritus and fellow members, also a past president, for believing that I was capable of taking on the position. I had declined his nomination several times, but eventually I had to accept the nomination, open close parenthesis, because I had no choice. But kidding aside, at that time, I also realized that it may have been God's will, and that I was fortunate to have been given the honor of being the youngest president to serve our chapter. So thank you once again, Architect Rafi, for the support and the trust you had placed upon me. I would also like to thank my officers for your camaraderie, your patience, your support, your sacrifices. Without you, I would have had a really difficult time to have been able to deliver all my tasks and responsibilities as the chapter president. Also to our dear members, especially to those who had voted for me in spite of me influencing majority of the members who had been present during the local elections to not vote for me. Thank you for being supportive during my term. As the saying goes, leaders are nothing without followers. So thank you also for trusting and believing that I was deserving to be put into position. I'm also grateful for the support my family and my friends had shown me during my reign as president. And above all, I would like to thank our mighty Father, our Savior, for guiding me in spirit and leading me to the right path when obstacles were presented to me, for being able to keep my head high and survive all the challenges that I had to go through during my administration. I would like to end my speech with a quote: "The essence of leadership is influence, not authority." Let us all lead by example, make a difference, and step out of our comfort zone. Thank you for this honorable opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. Mabuhay ang Arkitekto Filipino. Buhay ang UAP. Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you very much, our immediate chapter president, Architect Shirley B. Domoco. My chapter president last year, our chapter president last year. For the next part of our program, for the turnover of gavel and the acceptance, may we call on our District A1A Director, Architect Mark Anthony Ortates. Sir, are you here?
Good evening, Baguio City Chapter. To Architect Shirley, ma'am, please repeat after me. Madam President.
Yes po.
Okay na?
Yes po.
Okay. Madam President.
Madam President.
I now turn over to you this gavel.
I now turn over to you this gavel.
As a symbol of authority.
As a symbol of authority.
To preside over the affairs of the chapter.
To preside over the affairs of the chapter.
May you see this gavel.
May you use this gavel.
To conduct your chapter with fairness.
To conduct your chapter with fairness.
Justice.
Justice.
And equality to all members.
And equality to all members.
May the great architect in heaven guide you.
May the great architect in heaven guide you.
Good luck and carry on.
Good luck and carry on.
Thank you so much, our
Jam, meron pa. Excuse me, Jam.
Okay.
To Architect, incoming chapter president, Architect Dirige, please follow after me.
Yes.
I state your name.
I, Carissa Dale Dirige.
with great honor and privilege,
with great honor and privilege,
do hereby accept this gavel,
do hereby accept this gavel.
the symbol of authority shall be used to govern my chapter.
The symbol of authority shall be used to govern my chapter.
With fairness, justice, and equality. I will always preside my chapter.
I will always preside my chapter.
In accordance with the framework.
In accordance with the framework.
Of the UAP bylaws and its policy.
In accordance with the framework of the UAP bylaws and its policies.
Rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations.
Since we cannot stand, once Architect Dirige, our chapter president, bang the gavel once, and everybody will put our right hands in our chest, on our chest.
Should I, sir?
Okay. Then, Architect Dirige will bang twice, then everybody put down our hands. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you to our District A1A Director, Architect Mark Anthony Artates, and our immediate chapter president, Architect Shirley, and our incoming or our official chapter president for this fiscal year, Architect Carissa Dale Dirige. Now you are officially our chapter officers. That means I am officially out of my obligations as your chapter secretary. Okay. Now we move on to our next part of this program, the presentation of our new members.
Sorry, Jam, inaugural address.
Sorry. May we ask our chapter president, Architect Carissa Dale Dirige, to present her inaugural address as our chapter president.
Hello, everyone. To our national president, Architect Renato Heray, our national executive vice president, Architect Armando Eugene de Guzman III, our Area A vice president, Architect Alfred Joffrey Carandang, our District A1A director, Architect Mark Anthony Artates, our guest speaker, who will be formally introduced later, our Area A1A presidents present, our emeritus members, our past presidents, members, colleagues, and guests in this Zoom conference and Facebook Live. We're live. Good evening. I figuratively stand here tonight, greatly humbled and sincerely thankful for the trust given by my colleagues for putting me in this position. Let me start off with a story back in 2017. It was my first time being elected as an officer, after being a recurring MC in events. After the induction, then National President Architect Hisansha told us on how young our officers were. And it was a good thing. The young architects in our chapter were very much interested in leading. He jokingly asked me, "Kailan ang pagkaka-presidente mo?" I joked back, "Hintayin niyo po sa 2020. Punta kayo ha." I guess the universe has a very funny way of foreshadowing events. Cut to 3 years later, 2020. What a year. And we are still midway through it. This year has been a time of reflection where we look back on our priorities and somewhat a time of growth with unknown talents and skills manifest. This time of affliction has enhanced our skill of adaptability. As architects, we were taught to create with the intention to adapt with the situation at hand. And I believe our worldly situation calls for solidarity. We must stress that like our organization's name, we are united. I stand before you just one cog of this chapter, a mere part of one monumental machine that cannot function alone. I call on my board members, to Don, Jeff, Ariel, Neil, Oriel, Karil, Mon, Julius, Andrew, Elijah, and Shirley. Let us exemplify and represent the core values of our profession and honor our constituents the service they rightfully deserve. To our members, we are endlessly thankful for always supporting this chapter and hope that you continue to support. UAP Baguio City Chapter is called one of the most prestigious chapters for nothing. Exhibit A. We age like fine wine. We are regal. I would like to end with a call to everyone present. We should be likened to a pando tree. In hindsight, they look separated from one another, but in reality, they are known to have the largest root system in the world. I encourage everyone to strategically flourish, to branch out, and still be connected. Like in the highly acclaimed 2006 movie, High School Musical, one sang, "We are all in this together." Stay safe, UAP Baguio. Don't forget to wash your hands. God bless. Good evening at mabuhay ang arkitektong Pilipino.
Thank you very much, our chapter president. I'm sorry for that I have missed your part here. May I ask all of you to please let's have our virtual clap. If you're going to check on the bottom part of your Zoom screen, there is a reaction tab right there. Can you please all click that virtual clap right there so that we can give a virtual clap to all of our VIPs, our newly inducted officers. Thank you very much. I am so happy that I am finally free of my duties as chapter secretary. Don't worry, I will still be helping our officers with their duties as our officers, as what our VP has said a while ago. He is asking me to do some work for him. Anyway, now let's move on to our next part of the program. I hope that we are still following. We may now move on to our presentation of new members. May I ask our chapter vice president, VP of Programs and Development, Architect Jonard Don Hardinil, for the presentation of our new members. Architect Jonard.
Hello. So once again, good evening, everyone. So at this point in time, we will be presenting you our new members for United Architects of the Philippines Baguio City Chapter. So we are starting off with Architect Roxanne Marie Alcisto. Up next is Architect Pauline Camille G. Baltazar. Next is Architect Chesterdale Adrian V. Kakal. Up next is Architect Abelardo A. Canila. Also, let's welcome Architect Jaymore A. Chanaw. Also, let's welcome Architect Kim Cyril Cruz. Up next is Architect Jess Alif A. Deswasido. Also, let's welcome Architect Angelica May Ferrer. Also, let's welcome Architect Jekami M. Galiega. Also up next is Architect Edward N. Gallardo. Also, let's welcome architect Charlene F. Herrera. Up next is architect Jennifer Hardinil Valdez. Also, let's welcome architect Loriano P. LaGuardia. Also, let's welcome architect Kyrene Pearl R. Laron. Next is architect Catherine D. Luna. Also, architect Rolis Daniel B. Mabitazan. Also, let's welcome architect Chad Armen L. Madukdok. Also, let's welcome architect Justine May L. Mapalo. Up next is architect Moriel E. Marzan. Also, let's welcome architect Debbie Hope B. Pachao. Let's welcome architect Mark Anthony C. Villanueva. And also architect Giselle Marie G. Vindua. Once again, to our dear colleagues and friends, these are our new members for United Architects of the Philippines, Baguio City Chapter.
Thank you so much, our VP of Programs and Development, Architect John Ardon Cardinil. May we ask now for the charging of our new members, may we ask our District A1A Director, Architect Mark Anthony Artates.
Hello, once again, good evening. This organization which you have entered into is one of dignity, importance, and service to the community. In accepting the membership, you undertake a responsibility which is not to be assumed lightly nor carelessly discharged. You are hereby charged with the duties of seriously and resolutely furthering the objectives of the United Architects of the Philippines. The integrated and accredited professional organization of architects. With the Constitution and bylaws, together with the applicable policy manuals as your guide, you must be ever ready to exercise the duties and responsibilities of being a regular UAP member. Furthermore, you are charged with actively supporting your chapter programs according to the laws rooted on democracy, under which laws every individual who wishes to speak shall be heard, toward the end that in every matter considered, the best of opinion shall prevail through the expressed will of the majority, and the best course of action must take place. To the inductees, do you accept this charge?
Our inductees, can you please turn on your microphone and please accept the charging?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I accept. Okay. Now, you are ready to inducted as regular members of the United Architects of the Philippines. Madam Chapter President, they are now ready to be inducted to the United Architects of the Philippines, Baguio City Chapter.
Thank you very much, our District Director, Architect Mark Anthony Artates. Before we continue, may we ask other members, for those who are not inductees of this fiscal year, may we ask all of you to please turn off your videos first so that we will just see the inductees po muna. So, pwede po bang off po muna natin yung mga video natin at may iwan pong naka-on yung mga inductees. Marami pong salamat. Okay. Our chapter president, Architect Carissa Dale Dirige, for our mass induction of new members, ma'am, they are all ready.
All right. I would like to ask our inductees to raise their right hand and please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Abelardo A. Canilang,
Having been accepted as a member of State this chapter,
having been accepted as a member of Baguio City Chapter
of the United Architects of the Philippines,
of the United Architects of the Philippines,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly
swear
to abide in all honesty and integrity
to abide
in all honesty and
integrity
integrity
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
the duties and responsibilities
duties and responsibilities
of being a regular member
of
being a regular member
and all others
and all others
that I may hereafter hold
that I hereafter hold
in the United Architects of the Philippines,
in the United Architects of the Philippines,
that I will uphold and protect
that I will uphold and protect
the Constitution and bylaws of the organization,
the Constitution and bylaws of the organization,
organization,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the
that I will obey and uphold
that I will obey and uphold
the Architect's Code of Ethics,
Architects Code of Ethics,
conducting myself
conducting myself
in a manner befitting
in a manner befitting
a good and true professional,
a good and true professional,
advancing the interest of the profession
advancing the interest of the profession
to which we are dedicated,
to which we are dedicated,
that I will obey the laws
that I will obey the laws
and legal orders
legal orders
promulgated by the duly constituted
promulgated
duly
authorities of the Philippines,
authorities of the Philippines,
and I hereby declare
and I hereby
declare
that I impose this obligation
that I
I
impose this
impose
obligation
upon myself
upon myself
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
God.
Congratulations, our inductees. Welcome to UAP Baguio City Chapter.
Thank you very much, our chapter president, architect Carissa Dale Derihe, for the mass induction of our new members. Now, our new
Jan, can I mixing it?
Yes po.
Our guest speaker at the moment is still not present, so we have decided that we would like to start off first with architect, our national president, and I would like to formally introduce him. So I'm going to introduce now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed guest and inducting officer. Being an architect and landscape architect, our guest of honor reinforces a strategy to always design in good harmony with the surroundings and environment, With that trademark in the field, he has completed variety of architecture and landscape projects. Another facet of his profession is his mission to help improve the quality of human life by serving the community through the UAP's wide range corporate social responsibility projects to uplift human condition and advance professional service to the society. This advocacy elevated him as a Fellow of the United Architects of the Philippines. He is a registered ASEAN architect and has been conferred Fellow of the Royal Institute of Architects, Singapore. Among his CRS project involvements are the following: rehabilitation of Bito Elementary School in Marawi, the constructed and implemented project in Grace's female ward renovation in Quezon City, multimedia center in Kasiguran, Aurora, and the Kapamilya Shower Now mobile shower van nationwide, among others. Most of his projects were conceptualized and developed serve as emergency and relief response after a sudden, overwhelming, and unforeseen event. These projects became a reality then because of a support of the UAP National, UAP Bayanihan Arkitektura, UAP Cavite Chapter, ABS-CBN Lingkod Kapamilya, and Filon ngayon. In spirit of dedication and volunteerism, he was served as the UAP chapter president to his home chapter, the UAP Cavite chapter, from fiscal year 2008 to 2010. He also served as a UAP Secretary General for 2 consecutive fiscal years, 2016 and 2018. Executive Director of the Commission on Professional Practice, fiscal year 2018 and 2019. And as UAP National Executive Vice President, fiscal year 2019 to 2020. For his notable contributions and exemplary service, he was honored with the FITI Architecture Professional Awards 2018 and awarded by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts of the same year, the Haligi ng Dangal's People's Choice Awardee for his exemplary design of the Valenzuela People's Park. On top of all his dedication and commitment to his professional career and to the professional organization, he still finds time for his passion for architecture education as a professional guest lecturer at the Lazal University Dasmariñas, Malayan Colleges Laguna, and University of Santo Tomas. The man who champions the UAP CSR projects and believes that God blessed him in infinite ways, so he returns, bless and helps others. Ladies and gentlemen, the 27th UAP National President, Architect Renato Adalia Helay, FUAP, ASEAN Architect, FRIA, PLA, PALA, IFLA. Could we please give him a round of applause?
Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Thank you, Madam President, Architect Carissa, for such an introduction. Thank you so much for this warm invitation that I have received. It's really indeed an honor to be with you this evening through virtual communication. On behalf of the National Board of Directors for fiscal year 2020-2021, it is my pleasure to express my heartfelt greetings and congratulations to the newly elected board officers and new members of the UAP Baguio City Chapter, beginning with the chapter board. Immediate chapter president, Architect Shirley B. Damoco, the board of directors, Architect Andrew Paul A. Sioang, Architect Raymond O. Omanito, Architect Julius Irvin L. Macaso, Architect Elijah Joseph O. Guzman, and Architect Cariel Bern S. Buenaluz. Auditor, Architect Oriel R. Baloran, Treasurer, Architect Neil A. Kayanan, Secretary, Architect Ariel D. Sualo. Vice President for Operations, Architect Jefferson S. Ventura, Vice President for Programs, Architect Jonard Don B. Hardinil, and President, Architect Carissa Dale C. Derigue. Officers and members of the UAP Baguio City Chapter, to all our chapter advisors, Council of Elders, I saw Architect Rafael Chan, fellow UAP and Emeritus UAP, members of the College of Fellows, past district directors and chapter board members, past and incumbent chairpersons and members of our standing and special committees, our past Area A Vice President, Architect Maria Cecilia Viray, District Director of District A1A, Architect Mark Anthony C. Artates. To the members of the Executive Committee, Chancellor College of Fellows, Architect Pamela N. Amador, our immediate past National President, Architect Benjamin K. Panganiban Jr., National Auditor, Architect Delphine M. Mirabete, National Treasurer, Architect Wilfredo Gacutan, Secretary General, Architect Jonathan B. Manalad, and Area A Vice President, Architect Alfred Joffrey C. Carandang, our National Executive Vice President, Architect Armando Eugene C. de Guzman III. To our guest speaker, later perhaps, Architect Environmental Planner, Architect Donna R. Tabangin, Baguio City's new city planner. To our friends and partners in the industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, isang napakagandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, mga minamahal kong kapwa-arkitekto. I offer you all my sincere congratulations on your success to take this journey to be of service to our organization. Strive much greater heights, contribute what is best for our profession, and to have you as our valued stakeholders in this tremendous and significant responsibility to serve our members and our organization. There may be a lot of struggles with the global effect of this coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic to go along with several professional and organizational concerns that we are presently facing. But these challenges to start my term as the UAP National President will be my motivating force to be more determined and courageous, not by being superior and demanding, but in taking care of the welfare of my team, colleagues in the profession, the general membership, and the organization in general, with guidance from our elders, College of Fellows, mentors, most especially from our Divine Architect, our Lord Jesus Christ. Sabi nga ni Mother Teresa, as long as we make the best effort we are capable of, we cannot feel discouraged by our failures. We cannot claim any successes either. We should give God all the credit and be extremely sincere when we do. Let these inspiring words from one of the most honored servants will be our constant reminder to be humble enough in giving our best effort to deliver noble leadership. Letting our architect members and stakeholders in the industry know that they matter. Not to falter in times of difficulties, but rather uphold good governance in any given circumstances. And to do all of these things with humility and to prioritize the general membership through member-first policy. My fellow architect, let me share to you how this leadership responded to the changes of our time and how we will extend a fair chance and opportunity for our members across the nation in this era of new normal. Your UAP National offered a free Zoom hosting to all districts and chapters for their induction program and membership meetings. We will offer a free charge for the use of the meeting and function rooms at the UAP National Headquarters. The Executive Committee during our regular EXECOM meeting held on July 18, 2020 via Zoom video conferencing approved the extension of the payment of our annual national membership dues and annual chapter assessment fee until December 31, 2020 without penalty. However, At this point in time, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to our chapters and members who have already remitted their respective dues and fees to the UAP National in spite of the current situation we are facing. Truly, this is simple yet meaningful gesture from our chapters and members to sustain our operational and financial requirements during this period. We started communicating with the proper authorities for possible collaboration to help our returning overseas Filipino architect workers across the globe. We have continued conversation with our legal counsel to sustain the assertion of our rightful practice of architecture under our Member First Trust. On July 20, 2020, we had renewed our partnership with the Nippon Paint Coatings Philippines, Inc. for the AYDA, the Asia Young Designers Award 2020, anchored on the theme Forward, Human-Centered Design, which aims to return to the essential needs of humanity, our connections and our provision for the emotional, social, and practical needs of the society. Also, we extended our help to our needy brothers and sisters by providing hygiene kits for the patients of San Andres Sports Complex Quarantine Facility. We would like to extend also our appreciation to our UAP officers, members, and contributors supported the UAP Bayanihan COVID Labanan Call for Donation Program. This effort was recognized by the San Andres Sports Complex Quarantine Facility through their message posted on their official Facebook account. In the coming month, we should build on the progress we have had so far and make unceasing development by providing valuable programs and rules that work for our members and develop the system that reflect our better selves. Our fellow architect members have shown to us their confidence in you and me by selecting their leaders to represent them. Be their voice to be heard. Be their vision to be noticed. Be their heart to be felt. I look forward to serving you all because service is the heart of my leadership. Every leader is different. Their governance varies. It is not generic. Accomplishments are substantial. Mistakes are inevitable. But we cannot generalize the accomplishment of non-performance of one leader for all. This is the time to start anew, to face reality, challenges, and other works that had been left unfinished by the previous leadership. I cannot please everyone. I cannot provide everything. I may not solve every problem, but rest assured that I can act and do the right thing with passion and great love for the United Architects of the Philippines, side by side with my team and you. We will draw strength and rely on the wisdom from our divine architect, our Lord Jesus. In the entirety of my term of service, I would like to hold on to this encouraging word once again from Saint Mother Teresa. I cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. As we continue on our quest of becoming the prime professional organization of architects together with your National Board of Directors, this administration focuses primarily on good governance, noble leadership, and member-first policy. Let me declare to you our direction this fiscal year. First, let us serve our members and our organization guided by the principles and love with the right intention means noble leadership, where there is transparency, where there is accountability, where there is honorable service, leadership by example, and where there is a great sense of social responsibility. Second, let us place the organization's interest over self-interest by implementing good governance, where there is no resources being wasted, efficient and competent manpower, where there is a green headquarters, a sound fiscal management, work-life balance, and adapting to the new norm. And the foremost of all, let us lead the organization with a noble heart that offers a sense of importance and moral support through our member-first policy, where there is genuine service to our members, where there is provision for tangible benefits, where there is priority to what is good for the general membership, inclusive decision-making, and to continue the Get an Architect campaign. Our vision is to make the general membership a vital body included in every aspect of the organization's decision. To stress this, every single member's voice is not left unheard. Their thoughts and ideas are all welcome. At dahil dito, the Office of the Secretary General, under the leadership of Dr. Joey Manalag, initiated a monthly meeting dubbed as Izumo kay SecGen. Actually, it's happening now at this very present. With chapter secretaries, which is to talk about various secretariat-related issues of your chapter on protocols, for submissions, the latest updates from our headquarters, and many other topics. So I invite our chapter secretariat from this area to join and participate in this meeting. Also, ang opisina ng ating masipag na Secretary General, through its membership care department, implemented a no noon break policy to serve our members, those who are visiting the headquarters for their membership inquiries and concerns. Also in our EXECO meeting, the Office of the National Executive Vice President, under the able leadership of Architect Don de Guzman, has already presented laudable plans and projects, an avenue to encourage members to cultivate their passion, share them not only within the community, but to the society as well. To complete our member first policy is the continuation of the promotion of the award-winning Get an Architect campaign. Sama-sama po nating i-promote ito dahil atin ito. For the past years, we have seen a tremendous impact of Get an Architect advocacy, and we hope to further strengthen this campaign this fiscal year. These three policies will be our core trust in making this administration strong and standing. Therefore, I encourage all the officers and members of UAP from every section of this country and across the globe to join us and our national board in this endeavor. We have all given this wonderful opportunity, serving instead of commanding, showing humility instead of wielding authority, and always looking to improve the capability of our members in ways that create potentials, explore creativity, and sense of purpose. Always, we should act together because this direction will serve to measure the best of our abilities, to create a productive fiscal year despite the challenges ahead. At alam natin lahat yan. But while we are going through this pandemic, UAP is not backing down. We know our vision and we know how to achieve it. We shall thrive and go through this rough road as one, with the guidance of our divine architect, our Lord Jesus Christ, leading us the way. At sa tulong ng ating mga mahuhusay at magigiting na arkitekto mula sa UAP Baguio City Chapter, we all look forward to a fruitful year ahead of us. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang UAP, mabuhay ang arkitektong Pilipino. Stay safe and healthy. Take care always. God bless UAP Baguio City Chapter. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat to our National President Architect Rene Heray. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong address sa aming chapter. As we move on to the next part of our program, the part 4 of our program, may we call on our chapter treasurer, Architect Neil A. Kianan, to introduce our guest speaker. Architect Neil.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Our guest speaker, Architect Donna Tabangin, is a licensed architect and environmental planner with 23 years of experience in the applied science as a faculty of the School of Engineering and Architecture of St. Louis University, where she taught computer-aided design and geographic information systems in the graduate and undergraduate programs. Adjunct to this, she was the officer in charge of the Engineering and Urban Planning Research Laboratory. She finished her bachelor degree in Architecture of St. Louis at St. Louis University and master degrees in urban and regional planning at the University of the Philippines School of Urban and Regional Planning at Diliman, Quezon City. She has obtained advanced professional and certifications such as Geographic Information System for Land Evaluation and at the School of Earth Sciences in the Catholic University of Leuven, Belgium. Communication and Technology for Disaster Management at the United States Telecommunication Training Institute at Washington, D.C. And Disaster Risk Reduction and Management at Coventry University, United Kingdom. In 2016, after finishing her studies in technology, entrepreneurship, and design at University of California, Berkeley, she founded the SLU Incubator for Research in Innovation and Business, or CIRIB Center. This center has evolved to become a tech hub which includes a digital fabrication laboratory and the technology business incubator. This tech hub is one of the first 5 tech hubs in the Philippines, and its mission is to move technology, intimate researches and projects from the academe as well as from the community towards intellectual property protection, business mentoring, and commercialization. The hub is also involved in the providing technical support to SMC, especially on product development, branding, and design. She recently assumed a new position and joined public service as Baguio City New City Planner this week, and she is currently busy preparing for furthering the city initiative in authoring the resiliency plan of Baguio. Let's all welcome our guest speaker, Architect Donna Tabangin.
To our distinguished guests, to the new members of the United Architects of the Philippines, Baguio Chapter, and the enduring members to which I belong to age-wise, a pleasant and safe evening. I remember my own oath-taking in this chapter more than 2 decades ago, and this evening brings me back full circle. When Architect Dale Dirige invited me to join you tonight, I could not help but reminisce about my own oath-taking as well. I was a young, newly minted architect, excited to get into the practice and ready to take on the challenges of the world outside. This event is a rite of passage for us that after 5 or more years in university and 2 years in apprenticeship, we come not to an ending, but to a beginning. This beginning for you young architects is made more remarkable by the fact that your oath-taking is virtual, that we would be toasting and celebrating your success in a well-distanced manner from each other and in the safety of our homes or offices. This is an experience that has so eclipsed any other experience in our lifetimes, but again, it marks a beginning, the beginning of a new normal in the practice of architecture. As we all witnessed firsthand how this pandemic unfolded, I am sure that as we slowly emerge out of this event, the built environment where our profession operates in will be drastically re-evaluated and the design parameters radically changed. Our world will no longer be the same, especially on how we will be designing large gathering public spaces. Residential design will now emphasize the importance of taking shelter. The open plan might no longer work in contagion. Public spaces will be transformed by automation. New building materials and finishes might soon evolve to have antiviral properties. And as of this moment, even flat surfaces are now being frowned upon as germs can sit on it. These are just several of the many conversations that are happening right now. For us architects, as we are innately creative and innovative, I am sure that we will take on these new challenges like fish in water, so to speak. Some of us might even find the evolving built environment an exciting place to practice our profession, and rightly so. But what has unfolded before us has emphasized something, that as much as we would like to be socially distanced, we still have the need to be connected with each other. The question now is, how will architecture respond? The philosophy of human-centered design will all the more be at the forefront of our practice. An obsession of how design choices will create the post-COVID systems that we will live in will be our natural calling. Empathy to the people or community that will be affected by our designs will be a foundational skill. Design will all the more become participatory. I end with my warm congratulations to our new architects and members of the United Architects of the Philippines Baguio Chapter, and a statement of confidence that the challenges ahead will bring out the best in you and in your practice. May we see you actively providing amazing design solutions, and may you be an inspiration not only to your peers and to the next generation or the next batch of young architects, but also to us. Here's the new normal in architectural practice. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much, Architect Donna Tabangin, Baguio's new city planner. Marami pong salamat, ma'am. Magandang gabi po. As we continue to the next part of our program, may we call on our chapter president, Architect Carissa Dale Derihe, to present the certificates and for her closing remarks. Architect Dale, madam.
Yes. Sandali lang ha. Kasi to the information of everyone, I'm also the UAP BCC host. So I'm controlling everything here. So teka lang ha. May ilang kalaban.
Okay lang po. So unlike our previous GMMs or induction, meron po tayong pagkain. So dahil wala nga po tayong physical ngayon, so medyo konting inom-inom na lang po tayo ng tubig dyan. Okay na po, Ma'am Dale?
Wait lang.
Virtual dinner.
Virtual dinner na lang po. Konting sip na lang po ng tubig dyan sa mga nauuhaw at mga nagugutom. Ayan.
Teka. Hindi yan. Teka.
Ay, hindi po pala.
Wait lang ha.
Host po natin, siya rin po ang ating chapter president.
Multifunction po tayo. The strength of adaptability po ito. Okay. So, I would like to present our certificate of appreciation. Ito lang po yung nakasulat. We will give a physical copy to all our VIPs and our guest speaker, certificate of appreciation to Architect Donna Tabangin as our guest of honor and speaker for this chapter program. UAP Baguio 43rd Induction of New Members of Officers held this Friday, 24th of July 2020 via Zoom video communications. So, to close this momentous event, I would really like to thank each and everyone who came. Meron po yung dito na in and out sa waiting room but still pursued to enter our Zoom meeting. Thank you very much for all the support. We hope that you continue, like I said a while ago, I hope that you continue supporting us, supporting this organization, this chapter, and we hope to see you in our future events. So our next event, I hope that you could be there. May bingo night tayo. So may prize po. So we hope that you come and then lalabanan po natin best in social media kasi lahat nasa lahat online. So yun po ang goal din. So again, Thank you very much for attending. God bless. Stay safe. At sabi ko nga kanina, don't forget to wash your hands and wear your mask at all times. Thank you and good night.
Marami pong salamat sa ating chapter president for the fiscal year 2020-2021. Ma'am Dale, maraming salamat.
Yay.
And for the final part of our program, it is our favorite, the photo ops po. So, here in our chat box here, right here, makikita niyo pong nag-chat si Architect Don. So, can we all, maybe all follow the sequence of the photo op? Let us start po with the National Execom, the District Director, the Emeritus, the PPs, guests of honors, and guest speakers. Yung iba po, off po muna natin yung ating mga camera. Marami pong salamat. Sir Don?
Yes, hello. Pa-change na lang sa gallery view kasi naka-live tayo sa sa Facebook. Yes, also once again, good evening everyone. So we would like to request everyone to please turn off your cameras first, except for our national executive committee, our national officers, our district director, our emeritus and college of fellows, our guest speaker, and our past presidents and our guest speaker. So we would like to request to please turn on your cameras. Siyempre ako mag-off ako ng camera ko. Okay lang. Okay, so it's so exciting to see every one of you to wearing your sashes as well, yung mga past presidents din natin. And ayan, asan eh? Yan ba?
Yeah. To the information of everyone, yung iba din nag-ano din muna kasi they have induction din in Dubai naman.
Oo pala, after this, no?
They have parang nagpaalam na din si NP sa akin, si Ma'am Lisa.
At least we have our district director over here, and of course our
Thank you
guest
po, Sir
speaker.
Mark, for coming.
And our past presidents. Hello po. Good evening.
Thank you din, ma'am.
Okay, so you may also take your own screenshots, but yung official na screenshots natin, I'll be taking it. So please have your full smiles, animated smiles. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Sir Mon. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile. All right. And one more, since we are live in Facebook, let's have our chant in 3, 2, 1, UAP. Okay?
Pwede nyo na po i-on.
Dapat meron tayong audio.
Opo.
Okay, na yung audio as well. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, UAP. UAP. Alright.
Yay!
Salamat po. Thank you so much to our past presidents, to our district directors, our tates, our guest speaker, Ma'am Donna. Maraming salamat po. Now, we would like to call on our new members of UAP Baguio City Chapter to please turn on your cameras now. So to our past presidents and our guest speaker, DBs, pa-turn off na lang po muna. Inductees muna tayo.
Inductees and the chapter officers.
Ay, pala, officers pala, sorry. Officers muna, officers muna.
You're not following your own instruction, John.
Yeah. Okay, chapter officers first. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have...
Ayan pala, Aryan. Buti
Okay.
ka pa.
Ay, ako pala. Okay, so let's have our chapter officers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We still have 2. Wala sila kanil. Okay, ayun.
Kanina.
Meron na siya. Alright. Okay, so in 3. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Smile first, formal. Okay, so hindi ko sinabing click, no? Also, one more. Pero UAP ha. In 3, 2, 1. UAP! UAP! Happy New Year! Okay, so thank you so much, our chapter officers. Now, we would like to call on our inductees to please turn on your cameras. Ayun. Do we still have our inductees? We have 22, correct, inductees for
Again,
this,
congratulations to our
event.
inductees.
Congratulations.
Congratulations po.
16, 17, 18, 19. We still have 3. I think sila Sir, walang camera si Sir, kanina kasi naka-phone siya. Ay, meron na siya. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. 5, 10, 15, 20. Baka hindi na available yung iba. So, please give your best smile. Okay, animated smile tayo. In 3, 2, 1. Smile muna. Alright. Now prepare for our second photo. Dapat video na yan, UAP, okay? So please turn on your mics, please. Ayan, para ma-feel natin as
Para
new
naman
members.
na-on natin yung mic din.
Yan. Dapat perfect yung UAP ninyo, ha? Alright. Okay, so in 3, okay, in 3, 2, 1, UAP, UAP, UAP. Okay, thank you so much, our officially inducted new members. Ayan, so we are expecting much from you to be active as well. Ayan, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And of course, our non-inductees, including our MC. Ayan, yung mga non-inductees naman. Ayan. Non-inductees.
Kapag non-inductees, kasama pa rin ba yung mga Basta non-inductees lang.
Oh, basta non-inductees. Join na, mga PPs. Okay. Hi, Ma'am Divine. Ayan. Ayan, sige. 2 shots tayo kasi we have 2 screens
2 pages.
na kailangan. 2 pages. Okay. Alright. I think we're good. Okay, in 3, 2, wait lang. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Ay, wait lang. Wait lang, may chat. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Kasama pala dapat ako dyan. Alright, smile face first. 1. Okay, wait. And let's have our second slide. Huwag mo na kayong mag-off.
Bakit si Jaymore daw kanina yung camera niya?
Okay. Let's have yung second slide natin. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Up. Yeah. Okay, so prepare lang natin. Okay, so thank you so much. Last is everyone.
Everyone.
Yan, lahat kung meron pa tayo. Yan. Everyone, please turn on your cameras now. Yeah, at least 3 pages tayo.
3 sa'yo.
3. Ilan sa'yo?
4.
Ay, 4. Okay. 3. Okay. Okay. Are we ready? So please stand by. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Ano, page 1. Wag mo na kayo magpapatay, guys, para hindi mag-move yung page natin. Okay, second.
Sir Erwin.
Yan. Yung second na sila Ma'am Sheila na and Sir Rafi and Ma'am Josie. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Alright, and last, yung page 3. Ayan, page 3. Wag mo na kayo mag-off, guys, para ano. Ayan. 3, 2, 1, smile. Yan. Magandang mantra natin yan for the rest of fiscal year. Smiley.
Smile mo na lang.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for attending.
Congratulations.
And this concludes our evening. Thank you so much. Again, stay safe po. And God bless.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We have our may talk pa tayo bukas. So please stay tuned na lang sa mga social media posts natin at UACBC.
Please stay tuned with our announcements.
Yes.
We'll
For
try
tonight,
our best to update each and everyone. Don't forget our website just in case you need more information. All our contact details are there. Again, thank you very much. Sabi ko sana
Maraming
drive safely,
salamat po.
pero
Boysen,
sabi ko
thank
sana
you.
drive safely. For Boysen, thank you pala for sponsoring
Thank you so
us.
much, boys.
Maraming po
Yes.
salamat
We're looking
sa
forward.
pag-attend.
Ma'am
Thank
Jam,
you.
thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you din,
Thank
Ma'am
you,
Jam.
everyone.
Sa pag-attend sa ating 43rd induction. Again, I am your MC, your host, Jam, your outgoing chapter secretary, mabuhay ang arkitektong Pilipino. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Good evening.
Mabuhay ang arkitektong Pilipino. Ay.
Can I ask my
Night.
officers to stay also?
Yes, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat po. Bye.
Bye.
Salamat.
Thank you, everyone. Kumaway-kaway lang kayo, officers. Sagot mo lahat.
Hashtag
May sayaw daw to sa
BCC, we are rejoiced.
Jam,
Year
ano
one.
pala, guys, let's also give Jam a round of applause for helping us.
Because of this,
Mon, kasama siya sa
Thank you, Jam.
certificates pala natin, ha?
because of this, salamat
Uy!
sa spon.
Okay, sige.
Uy, meron din.
Ayusin na lang natin.
Uy, meron din.
Ka-FB pa po tayo.
Kain na tayo ng hapunan.
Yes.
Gugutom na ako.
Oo nga pala,
Tubig
we're
lang
still
tayo.
live. Thank you, Facebook pala.
Sorry, Ma'am Dave.